Welcome to the third lightning talk of Nepos. My name is Paul, I'm the founder and CEO, and today I want to give you some insights into how I manage my tasks, and maybe you get some insights that are also useful for you. So our tasks are overwhelming us in our job, but also in our private life, and I always wonder what we can do about it. So in this talk I want to start with a quick introduction of some typical situations I faced, and you maybe too, or similar. Then I want to give you my answer, very simple, a task manager. And then I want to talk about the problem that your task manager is overwhelming you again because it's full of tasks and you don't know what to do. And also connected is your email inbox. I want to quickly talk about that. And the last point are Paul's 3 rules for a happy life. That is the ending. So, a typical day. You wake up, alarm rings, welcome a new day, and you remember that you promised to give one book to the colleague, so you should not forget it. Then, while you take a refreshing shower, you get some ideas how to solve some difficult problems. You transport your kids to the kindergarten, at least some of you, and your wife tell you, please bring some stuff for the babies, we need that. And you remember, oh, I should bring her flowers too. And then you cycle to the office, and while cycling and overthinking the upcoming day, there are also some ideas like, oh, I need to contact the investor again who mailed us last week. Then you arrive to the office, you check your emails, some colleagues request to do some review of some documents, you recognize there is no water left, so you need to order new drinks. The tax consulting is writing you that there are missing some papers, and then we do our all hands meeting every Monday morning, and also while doing the meeting there pop up some ideas how to improve the process, or some ideas when we talk about the upcoming week. After this you have a phone call with a partner and they request some additional papers. While you do the presentation you recognize a bug in the presentation you need to fix. Then finally there's some time to work on the product, but then you are in the situation that you need to remember what were the point where I left off and what was the most important things, so it took some time to remember that. Then it's lunch, we're talking about, or some colleague recommends an interesting TV show, you want to remember that, of course. In the meeting, all meetings produce some follow-up tasks, and some tasks for you, some tasks for other people. Then you may have a meeting outside, so you hop onto the train, and then you have some off time in the train and you wonder, what can I do now? And back in the office you do some bookkeeping and you recognize, okay, there's some documents to pick up next day or next week for the tax consultant. Then you arrive at home, and while arriving you recognize, oh, the plans needs to be cut on the weekend, you should not forget that, looks already a little bit messy. Then you help the babies fall to sleep. This is some time you can use your smartphone when they nearly sleep, but you forgot what was the point you want to look at. Then you have dinner with your wife. She is angry because you forgot to bring the things for the baby, but she's happy because she got flowers. Then you are in the store to pick up the stuff for the babies. Then you don't buy the stuff for yourself because you want to check some prices in the internet. Back at home you're answering emails, but there are so much emails and it's already so late that you postpone that for next day. And then you fall to sleep and you remembered, oh shit, I want to build a habit to do some sports every evening, but now I'm already in bed and I would not stand up again, maybe tomorrow. So what is the result of this? I feel some kind of unhappy because I forgot things. There are hundreds of emails that even push more the feeling that there is maybe something important I missed. There are off times in the day suddenly appearing when you travel or when you're waiting for something, where I got the feeling that I don't use this time very efficient. My wife is angry because I forgot to bring the stuff she asked me for, and I feel bad because, of course, I want to be reliable to my wife, to my colleagues. And so there are 3 words: unhappy, angry, bad. And is this a good state of mind? No, I would not say so. So what can we do about it? The answer is really simple. Just write down what you need to do. Then you would not forget it. You think so you introduce a task manager. A simple program that gives you the possibility to note everything you need to do. The requirements on the first view are very easy. It should be, of course, easy to add new things because you need to do it all the time. It should synchronize between all the devices you are using. It should, from my point of view, have a slick and minimalistic design because it should not optical, it should not go into my thinking. And I want to have a way how to separate private and work-related tasks. So with these requirements, there are thousands of apps out there, thousands. And I tried a lot of them, and my search ended with Todoist. That's a really cool task manager that fulfill all the requirements. And what convinced me on the first view is the quick entry mode. So you work on your computer and you press Command-Shift-A, and then you get this quick entry window where you can just type something in, hit enter, and it lands into your task list. And it has a lot of more interesting features that we will discover later in this talk. So, of course, you are very enthusiastic and you put in all your tasks, and then this results into projects with nearly 300 tasks for work and 200 tasks for private stuff, and then the side projects. So you realize, okay, that's too much. I will never open the app again because who have time to do so much things. But this is not the best idea if you want to use this app, right? So you should use it every day and not fill it with data and then not open it again. So what can we do to make this less overwhelming? I read nearly every article about it, about the topic related to task management. I tried a lot of different approaches how to solve it. And out of these articles, my tries, and now 6,400 completed tasks in Todoist, these are my findings, how I manage all the stuff inside. So there are just a few rules you need to follow, and then it's very easy. First rule is very important. There's just one single source of trust. That means you have one list where all your tasks are saved. There is no side list. You should not have another list beside this one list. It's also very important for developers, for developing programs, that you know where the informations are. So whenever you talk to a developer, ask him if you have a single source of trust. That sounds very good. Todoist integrates very well in a wide range of other applications. So for example, inside the email program, you have these 3 dots and you can click on Todoist and this email lands inside your task manager. There's also a shortcut in the email program. You see an email, you need to do something, you press T and you get a small window to type in some additional information. The same thing is working on the operating system on Mac OS. It is under share, and you can share nearly every item with your to-do list. So that's very useful if you have a website, for example, you need to do a review or you want to read that later or whatever. Also on your mobile phone, it's integrated inside this share dialog. So from every app you can post stuff into this to-do list, and in the email app itself it's even more easy. You just need to swipe left and then there's a new Todoist entry.
That's the Todoist app?
No, this is Spark, an email app called Spark, and you can connect this email app with different third-party apps. But they have really a wide range of integrations, so it makes sense to take a look there you can integrate this task manager very well in whoever apps you're using. Then the second thing is put a due date on every task you insert into this list, because then you don't have a huge bunch of items. Instead, you have a list because you have an order based on the date. So even it's in a few months, just put in a date and then your Todoist will remind you. So if you pull up this quick entry window, Todoist is automatically recognizing date patterns like today, tomorrow, or in 3 months, and put in the related date for you. So you write in, for example, check my subscription for Todoist in 5 months. And then it will pop up. Also, if you use the hashtag, you access different projects. So it's very simple to put it into private or job-related project. Then you need to plan your day. So you need to build the habit to end your day with an empty today list. So inside Todoist, there is everything that is planned for today goes into this list today, and your habit should be that this list is empty in the end of the day. So you could do stuff, that's obviously the best maybe, but you should also not thinking everything is written in stone. You also could delete stuff, because if it's so easy to add new to-dos, you should also be able to delete things that are just not needed anymore. Or you postpone things. If you plan it for today, you were not able to do it, plan it for tomorrow or for whenever you have time. But Todoist will give you a nice illustration. If your list is empty, then they say, enjoy your evening. You did five tasks today. That's friendly. And then you need to build habits. I mean, this is always a good idea because it is easier and your brain will adapt to it. And the first habit is the most complicated one. That is ending your day with this empty to-do list. If you integrated this habit, then every following habit is very, very easy to do, because you could write down everything into Todoist. For example, plan my to-dos for tomorrow is a task in my to-do list, and there is this tag of repeating tasks. So this means every day. Every Saturday, do some sports. Every month, bring flowers for your wife. Every 2 months, call your grandmother. That's private. So you just throw this into, and then it will pop up in the time you specified. And there is this really, really nice pattern inside of Todoist with this acceleration mark. That means if you put in a task like every acceleration mark day, that means if you check it, it will create it to a new item on the next day. If you don't check it because you are on holidays, it will do nothing. Instead, if you go back after 5 days, you don't have 5 items of the same, you just have 1. And if you check it, it will appear again after 1 day or whatever you specify. So this is really perfect to just write down your habits you want to do. If you were not able to do some sports, for example, this is not lost. You just postpone it to the day, and whenever you checked it, it will appear again after this time period. So now this is about timing, and then the next important thing is the context. Because sometimes you plan something, but now you are on a trip or you have waiting time of 20 minutes and nothing in your planned items for today fits into 20 minutes, maybe. So what you want to do is bring context to your tags. That means I have 3 levels of contexts. One is my energy level. When I set up a new task, I put in a tag like low energy or high energy. I mean, if I'm tired and it's late, I search for low energy tasks and I just do them, and it is very easy. I don't require so much, but I get things done. this next context is the time needed for the tasks. That is also very useful. If you know it already, like read an article about something someone recommends you, it will take not more than 15 minutes. You just put in low energy, 15 minutes. And then if you are tired and waiting for the train, you just search for all tasks within 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and low energy, and you get a beautiful list of things you can do right now. And the third context is the location. Some things are only doable in office or at home, like clean your living room is hard to do in the office. And some things are good to do on the phone. So whenever you have this time clicking on your phone, useless, you could take a look inside of your Todoist, get everything that is tagged with phone, and you will do something useful. So some examples: find tax papers from last month. It's inside the job project. It's low energy because you just need to look at it. You should do it in the office because maybe the papers are in the office, and it will not take more than 15 minutes. You don't need to set every context on every task, just if it makes sense. But for example, the last one, read text about better project management. It's perfect when you are on the go or on waiting. So you just pull that out. Ideally, you put also the link to the article, then it's a no-brainer and you can check something. And now the last rule is to set goals. Todoist is also helping you with that. You can define how many goals you want to do every day and every week, and then you get a little bit numbers of the past. Are my numbers right now. Not the best one, but I can't change it. So you get this overview in the last 7 days. My goal is to do 10 tasks. Monday was very productive, but the other days are a little bit behind. And the same is on the weekly. My task is to fulfill 50 tasks in a week. So I had a better run last year before the birth of my children. That were my record, 51 weeks in a row. And what Todoist is also doing, what at least motivates me a little bit, and I like it somehow, you get karma points. So if you have no overdone to-do items, if you reach your goals and some other criteria, you get karma points, and then they have certain levels, and then you get something like, hey, you are on 20% of all Todoist users, blah, 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 something like this. But at least I like to have this line going up, so you know, okay, I worked in a good way with my task manager. So we have now a way how to manage somehow all the tasks that appear. So whenever someone is telling me something, I just put it into Todoist under the certain rules I just presented to you. But there's still the problem of hundreds of emails in the inbox. So what can we do about that? The answer is also very easy. We need to reduce the full amount of emails. And the biggest part of emails are automated emails from some platforms. Some newsletters, some reminders, some, hey, a friend liked your content, blah, blah, blah. All the stuff pollutes your inbox. And there's a very simple way, a little bit technical, but if you go through it, it's very useful. The key is a catch-all email address. That means you get a domain like stuff.mydomain.de, and you define an inbox that is accepting all emails going to this domain. So everything that is in front of the @ sign will go into this one inbox. So that means you don't need to create new inboxes, but you can create new email addresses just if you register somewhere. So if you create a new fake Facebook profile, you just write in Facebook at stuff.mydomain.de. And this pattern you repeat for all platforms and all newsletters and everything, for everyone who asks you, for every platform and service who asks you for your email address. You always put the name at the catch-all email domain. And then you add a new Todoist item that you want to clean this inbox once a week, for example, because sometimes there's something useful, whatever. So you have this as a task, it will appear every week, and then 80% of the email traffic you are facing here every day is gone. Plus, if one of these platforms get hacked and your email address is over-flooded with spam, you can just tell your email program, put everything that goes to this concrete email address, put that right into the trash. So if you order something from a stupid small shop, they get hacked, the email address was sold in a spam list, suddenly you receive all this stupid emails about stupid services you don't need. Then you just say, okay, everything buy oranges at stuff.mydomain.de go into trash, I don't care anymore. That's a really, really useful way how to deal with this email flood. And the last 20%, I really enjoy using the zero inbox principle. That means you end your day with an empty task manager list and an empty inbox. And you get an empty inbox very easy because the new habit is done with just adding a new task item every day, do a zero inbox. And then you follow 3 simple rules. One is everything that took less than 5 minutes, you answer right away. Everything that is irrelevant right now gets archived, and everything that needs to be done or answered or you need to work on it goes into the Todoist list, goes into your task manager. And then after 30 minutes, 40 minutes, your inbox is clean and you can check the item in Todoist and are very happy. And then you enjoy your organized life and build good habits. So now you have every digital stuff under your control, but unfortunately you need to deal with a lot of humans also, especially the humans you are very close to. So I want to give you as an extra just one more thing, Paul's 3 rules of a happy life. That has nothing to do with the computer, it is about the relationship with other people. First is no argue after 10 o'clock, because your brain goes to sleep and just reacts stupid. It makes absolutely no sense to argue the whole night. Just postpone the argue to the next day and everything is totally different and solvable. Then the second one is no tit for tat. In German, kein so wie du mir, so ich dir. And that means if someone is telling you something, it's not allowed. For example, my wife tells me, you never clean the kitchen, and I answer, yeah, but you never clean the basement. No, that's not a good behavior. You can talk about the one thing about the kitchen, and after this you can talk about the basement, but reacting immediately with a counterattack just ends in war. And the third important point is no arguments containing never or always, because they are never true. And if you just use these words because if it gives you more weight. So if you say you never clean the kitchen, it's just not true. I cleaned it 3 months ago, but you did not saw it.
So it sounds like you have kitchen cleaning problems.
No, I do it always. Yeah, these are my 3 rules I'm happy with, and I could recommend to talk about these rules in a good moment and then use that in the next argue. It helps me. So, this is Peter. He never argues after 10 o'clock, so be like Peter. That's it.
Very cool. Yeah.
Did you agree on these rules with your wife? She's following them too?
Yeah, of course. We both are committed to the rules, and we said that makes sense. So, of course, when the argues start, we say, you never clean the kitchen, you never. And then the other person could say, stop, it's not allowed to say never. And then you said, oh shit, you are right, but you did not clean the kitchen yesterday. And then she's saying, yeah, but yesterday the babies went crazy and you were late. And suddenly you could talk about the one concrete situation and not something abstract that hurts.
Yeah, makes sense.
Are there any short entries in the mobile version from Todoist? So does it work with Siri or something like that? Or do you go and... What if you have some idea or you want to plan a task while you're on the way? Open the Todoist app?
No, it has integrations into this share mode. So whenever you have a text or a picture or a different app you can share, you could also share it with Todoist. I think they have a Siri integration, but I'm not sure. I'm not using that one.
It works for Alexa, or Amazon Alexa, but I don't know if it works for Siri.
How do you connect a specific email which you want to answer later? Do you write a task answer email XY, or can you integrate this specific email?
Yeah.
Relinking or how?
Yeah, this is very nice solved with Spark. That has a Todoist connection, and when you create a new to-do item, it contains a link to this email. And you could also take the email body and use that as a comment inside of the task. So you can read the email inside the task, and then you click on the link inside the task, and this link will open your email app with this email, and you can answer it right away.
So you need also this Spark app?
You need an email application that have a Todoist integration.
So you don't know whether Mail has it?
No, for Mail I don't know.
But you don't know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
okay.
Perhaps I think they have also plugins. Maybe they build something. It makes sense.
And how do you handle your tasks with notes? So if you have some ideas or you want to have some notes about some topics, how do you manage them?
Yeah, this is a good question. I'm not totally sure because the tasks are supposed to disappear.
Yeah.
So some concrete ideas resolving the task are good inside the comments. So for example, if we talk about how to solve something, I could note it as a comment, but if it is or ideas about a wider topic, it should go to a different place.
Thinking about a solution about that?
Yeah, but I don't have it. I have 10 different apps to take notes, but it's not. I'm not ready to make a talk about it.
But which note apps are you using?
I like Notional Velocity, it's called. Notional Velocity?
I think it's called Notion, right?
I just need to type in NO and then it's there, so I don't know. This is also very minimalistic and it's completely usable through the keyboard. And it could also synchronize through Dropbox or Google Drive folder. But yeah, most of the notes I'm also taking inside Google Documents. They are easy to share. You could also easily link them to a certain Todoist item, and you can work together on it.
I also have a question on the empty email inbox. I love that I do it too. I just have sometimes a problem when I know that a topic of the email is still going to come up, and I'm not going to do it now, so I leave it in my inbox. Do you have a separate folder then to not archive it and not put it on a folder where everybody like in an in-between folder, or how do you handle that?
No, I create a task out of it.
And so then the email goes into the archive already?
Yeah.
Okay.
The email goes into the archive, and the link inside the Todoist item is pointing me to the concrete email. I don't like these things because especially if you have tasks you can't resolve, like wait for an answer. This is really something I don't like, and most likely I'd make a task like ask contact person if a certain topic is resolved, linked with this email, and then in 7 days or whenever it's suitable, and if this item appears, then I know I need to go inside again. If in the meantime I got the answer already, I can just click away the task.
I use Boomerang for that. It allows you to select an email and archive it, but if no one responds, it sends it back to you.
Cool. Yeah, Spark has also features like that, like snooze. You could snooze emails, and you could, I think you could also, I'm not sure if it's in this app, that it only appears again if you got an answer or not. I find that difficult to use because I don't have this overview what is snoozed, and I very often when it appears again in my inbox and I'm heavily waiting on the answer, then I'm happy and think, yeah, there's the answer, cool, and then shit, it was just my snoozed email, and then I'm disappointed. Also, I had the thing that you talk about with the same person about different topics, and then you snoozed one topic and get an answer for another topic, but yeah, it was not working for me, so I prefer to throw everything into Todoist, and then it can go into different projects. You could also have sub-projects, like under work-related projects, I have more sub-projects for certain topics.
How do you date all your tasks? Because that's my biggest struggle, is I don't date my tasks, and then I have an endless list of tasks. But some tasks seem quite difficult for me to date. And the way that you said it made me think, oh, maybe I should date, even if it's just a random date.
Yeah, by default, I date everything. It took a while for me to adopt this, but now I find it really useful. The credits for that goes to a former colleague of us who forced us to do that, Fabian. I think only you know him, right? He bring up the topic and said everything needs to have a date, and we both said no, that makes no sense. There are items without a date, and I don't want to put a random date in the future. But for things that needs to be done, most of the times they have a due date, and then there are different different kind of tasks, work-related tasks, for example. So for our project or for our product, if I'm working inside a project and there is a list of certain things that needs to be done, like clean up the code, check or continue the development, some concrete stuff, then I use a sub-project for that. I put all the tasks related to this sub-project inside this list, and then I create a task like check this project with a due date. So, because if I don't do it, I forget that I have somewhere some sub-projects and sub-tasks somewhere that just goes out of my mind if it does not come on his own again.
How much is the subscription for the year?
25 a year.
Yeah, 25 euros a year.
But the free version is really strong. I'm using the free version. So I just don't get the tags.
I used this free version also for years.
So you can start with the free version.
I really like this context idea. This I think makes this app really strong, that you can just pick up based on the context you got.
That's what you
step in. And then you made the decision about creating this three-level contexts, or are there suggestions from Todoist or?
No, I read it in an article about how to manage your to-do list somewhere, and I forgot the article.
Do you use any other project manager apps like Asana? Is that because like I have the issue that I'm using Wunderlist still, I know it's terrible, but I'm using this one, and then I also have Asana for more professional stuff, so I always get a little bit
Yeah, this is my first point of single source of trust, that it makes everything much more complicated and you are not able to learn something in deep. If, for example, the shortcuts for the keyboard, if you're using different tools all the time. I think the only one I'm using right now is Jira for job-related things. Sometimes I connect the tasks, but most of the time I have a Todoist task like check Jira items and Jira items. And then
Okay, so your daily tasks, which we discuss on our daily, are not part of the Todoist?
yeah, no, they are always in the Todoist item in the today.
You take the tasks that you put yourself on the day?
Yeah.
He follows his rules.
Yeah. Yeah, following the single source of trust, I said everything that needs to be done. Sometimes I forget it,
Yeah.
and then I forget also that it's written down here. And then in the next morning,
Do you
I'm
even put
disappointed.
yellow stickers on your tasks?
No, unfortunately not. On the mobile phone, you could see how long the task is already inside of your list. So like calling grandmother is stay there for a really long time because, not today. They tried today and again in 3 days. And then it would be really useful to have a mechanism like, hey, this is really old, you postponed it now for 15 times. But I don't think that they are able to do this.
Do you find that when you stick to this inbox zero approach and to clear out your today, that you think differently about your work and you're able to say no to things because you have a very full picture of what you have to do?
To be honest, no. I think this is another topic that could be tackled, needs to be tackled, that prioritize and put the right things in the today column, and also not too much but also not too less. This is the next level. This was just about the technical foundation, I would say. So the meta topic of the concrete items is a different one.
That's pretty impressive still, how many tasks you're able to do. The 51-week streak of 50 tasks is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a good time from the perspective of the task manager, but now I'm disappointed because I don't think that I mean, it will take so long to beat this record that I'm close to write them an email and ask if they can reset it, because I don't see that I'm able to make a longer.
You don't set your own goals? They set it for you?
No, you set the goals.
On the record.
Just you set the goals for the day and the week, but this solve your goals in a row. This is recorded automatically.
So you can make your goal easier, and then you could make
That's true.
Yeah, but it will still take more than a year, so this is disappointing.
Yeah, it's
But
great.
you will work longer than 1 year.
Yeah, for sure, most likely.
Yeah, that's for me the biggest thing that I realize is I used to do it. I stick all my tasks in there, I think. That's the thing, besides the today tasks, which I do on a sticky note.
Yeah.
And Todoist is kind of just like the things that I should do when I remember. But I have a feeling if I start dating everything, I'm gonna be so pressured to say no to everything else. Because I realize that most of what I'm doing is just adding a bigger and bigger backlog right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. I think it will be also a big challenge for me to try to prioritize things.
Yeah, prioritize or think about sub-projects. So for example, if my task would be writing a job posting and I have some articles I want to check, or this is maybe a good example. You need to write a job posting, then there are some articles, best practices of job posting. You need to research certain platforms where to publish it, you need to write it, you need to get feedback, you need to check the old job postings, you need to do meetings with your colleagues to find out the right requirements. Then I don't want to have a list of 20 tasks that I need to postpone every day to the next day because I'm just solved 1 or 2. Instead, I would take all of these tasks, put them into a sub-project job posting, and then have one task with a due date, do the job posting, or do 2 tasks from the job posting project, because you always want to have the possibility to check out the things. You don't want to have tasks, so write the job posting and then have 20 subtasks. That is not satisfying for me. I want to have, okay, get a step forward inside the job posting, and then you say, okay, done. And tomorrow I want to write it actually. However, and then when you are working on the task, you open the sub-project and you have the long list of stuff, and you can easily go into and be remembered on the things you wanted to do.
Yeah, that's good.
You had a question?
No, I was just thinking that you probably into this, you also have a section on your weekly goals, right? You have like today, and you have the week.
Yeah, the next 7 days.
Next 7 days, yeah. That is always, that also might help you to prioritize and see, like to manage your time a little better if you have like the view on the whole week.
You're like, oh God, close that.
Yeah, that's the same for me. I don't use it regularly, just for plan the next day. Then it's easy if you see them and you can drag and drop around the tasks. And they have also a schedule view. So if you have 20 items overdue, there is an automatic planner, and then it takes all the tasks and have some artificial intelligence to find out when is the right time for you. I don't trust this, but the view is nice that you have all the days and you can just throw them around and then one click and then everything is replanned. That makes it a little bit easier.
Cool. Seems that we should use Todoist.
Yeah, if you like to. It's free to start, and especially the quick entry mode, you should write down the key, the shortcut to bring this up, because this is what I really enjoy the most. You're working on something and then it comes to your mind, oh shit, we need to do this and that. You just open it, type it in, press enter, and then it's done. You have also an inbox in your Todoist app, so you could also just throw it in and then clean the inbox of the task manager also and put it into projects. For me, it's not useful. I always set the projects right away. But the app is very strong and very flexible. But for me, I always need some kind of rules. Otherwise, this flexibility don't help me to solve things. It's just a tool, but you need to know, or you need to have an idea how to use the tool, and then you can improve your personal usage. Because you find really a lot of articles and stuff and talks and ideas how to better manage your time and your tasks. Yo, I would say that's it.
Thank you. Very nice.
Very interesting.
Happy that you liked it. It was a pleasure to present it to you.